In addition to having, let's go back to here, we got the sizes for the Apple. In addition, you also have a link for material design. This is the way that they make icons for Android. And they have a whole system called material design. And they talk about how to design an icon, you know, and the structure that you need to follow. And they don't use necessarily, pixel dimension, but they use something called DP. Okay, it's very similar. You can use a DP density. I can't remember exactly, but it's similar to pixels. It's the same as pixels actually. And so you see, here's the pixels. Here's the pixels. Okay, so they have certain ways of designing the icon, specifically with shadows. As you can see, there's a shadow here. So they have different ways of shadows. Okay, so you can read about that if you want to make one for Android, and so on. So they have different ways of doing things like that. One thing I would like to point out with the Apple one is that you design square. I know you're used to looking at your icon on your phone, right? I look at my icon on the phone, and you see it has these nice round edges, right? Yes. Okay, but you actually save it square. What gives it the round edges is the actual iOS. It's part of the operating system. So when you give it to Apple, you give them a square one, or when you program it yourself, if you're making your own app, program another square one, and then the operating system gives it that round edge. Okay, so don't think you have to simulate that round edge. The round edge is done by the operating system. Okay, so let's just go and make one, and then we'll learn how to make multiple artboards. So I'm going to go into Illustrator, and I'm going to start with a new file, and I'm going to make sure I'm using RGB for the color space, because we're making things for a screen, right? For a screen. So RGB, right here, RGB is the color space you want to use. And size at this point really doesn't matter. I'm not going to worry about it at this point because I'm going to be making multiple artboards at different sizes and then shrinking my icon to fit in there. So I'm going to hit OK. So I'm not going to worry about size right now. Just color space. I just want to make sure it's RGB color space. Don't worry about size right now. Okay, so let's make an icon. If you look at the icons, they're square. So no matter what you make, just make sure it's square. That's all. So I might start with a rectangle. I'm going to make kind of, since I'm making a weather app in my other class, maybe we'll make it, how about we make a sunny icon? A sunny kind of icon. How about that? Okay, we're going to make a sunny kind of icon. So I'm going to start with a square, a rectangle. So I'm going to use the rectangle tool, and I'm going to make a square. Okay, here's my square. And then, so there's my square. And then let's go and make a sun. I'm going to make a very simple kind of sun. I'm going to use an ellipse. And for my sun, and then I'm going to kind of cut this ellipse in half by using the, actually let's leave it whole for right now, and then let's do raises. I'm thinking in my brain empire, the Japanese flag from World War II. Remember the one with the kind of the rays coming out the top, right? So how can I do that? Well, we can do that kind of easily by maybe making rectangles. How about we do rectangles? Let's do rectangles. I'm going to make a rectangle. Maybe rectangle here. And then, a little bit bigger. Let's make it bigger. And then a little bit bigger more. Evermore, nevermore. And then let's duplicate that by rotating it. Do you remember doing the petals of the remember doing the petals for the flower, right? I'm going to use the same technique. I'm going to take the center option and drag it down to this corner over here. And then I'm going to duplicate it by option click and drag. And then repeat that. Command, what was it? T? D. Oh, there we go. Thank you. D, 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 D. Okay, something like that. That's not quite the best. Let's do that again. I'm going to undo that. Actually, let's start over with that.
Can I help, boys?
You're going to have to wait till I'm done with my demo. So let me make this a little bigger. That's it. Okay, and let's do it on angles. Remember the 45-degree angle and so what? So it's nice and even. So again, I'm going to drag my center point down here. And then I'm going to option, click and drag, and hold on the shift key. No, shift won't give me a 45. I want a 45-degree angle. Well, my rectangle's still not big enough, and it still doesn't look right. D? Yeah, looks funny. Still not what I want. Somehow I want objects to go in a circle.
What if we rotate around the middle of the rectangle on the right side?
In here?
Yeah.
Okay, let me try that, thank you. Let's see, click on it. Close enough. How about that? Kind of crazy. It'll make a cool design. Let's take the rectangle that we have and cut this out of there. So let's use that to cut, and then I don't know. We'll see. This might be a crazy design, but hey, whatever. I'm going to use this rectangle to cut these up so that these are different colors. So let's do that. Let's go under Pathfinder. And the one that you might not have used before might be the split. This one right here. Where is it? Trim. Divide. How about we use divide? Boom. What that does is it splits all the objects up into individual objects. So this one I'm using right here is called divide right here. Divide. And what that has done is it's taken all the objects and split them up into individual pieces. And so then I will go and delete the ones outside my rectangle. I'm going to finish my demo.
Hey, Jeff, can you hand the help, please?
You have to wait till I'm done finishing my demo here today. There we go. There we go. So now we have some shapes. We can color these all different colors for my things. I don't even need these ones in here, though. These are kind of cool, though. We could probably use these with something else. I don't know. Oh, my circle went away too, didn't it? It's okay. How about we put our circle back. There we go. And then let's put that in the center. There we go. And then let's color these different colors. So I'm just going to color these different colors to make it a kind of dramatic. And then, oh, one more color. Let's do a red without the stroke. There we go. Oh, that's pretty bright. Okay, here we go. Almost done. You're gonna have to wait till I'm done with my demo. So I'm just gonna color these different colors. Almost done. Let me pause my recording here. Again, I finished coloring my background, and I'm going to cut this with the scissor tool. And let's cut that. And then let's do some water. And let's make that some ocean.
Oh, Jeff, can I head and help, please?
Just let me finish what I'm demoing here, and then I will help you. Why is it doing that to me? And then be nice to have this as a reflection, wouldn't it be nice? How did I get move that for now. Bring that to the front. I'm almost done. Let's put this back there. There's my reflection.
I can't, it didn't work.
And then let's get rid of the stroke. And then let's give that color. Let's put a gradient in there. No, not in there. Ugh, give me a break. And let's put a gradient in there for this. Almost done. The gradient. Where's gradients? Gradient. Oh, it didn't work. How do I get a gradient in there? How do I change the color of a gradient? Oh, I didn't want that to be gradient. Oh, it's killing me here. I want this color to be in there. Jeez. I have to go to swatches. And then this one I want to be the blue. No, not that. And then we want it to be, there we go. Okay, pretty ugly icon. Pretty ugly. But I was trying to make something fun. Okay, so here's my, it looks like lava boiling or something. I want this color here. Is it this one? No. What color is this? What? I need this color. There we go. That looks better.
I want help, please.
You're just gonna have to wait till I'm done, okay? Okay, so I made my icon. It is square. Okay, so this is my icon. I want it to be used for a phone. So how can I make multiple artboards the correct size? And then I'm going to shrink them down. Now when you're scaling, here's a big problem with scaling. Is that if you use the stroke, sometimes the strokes stay the same. So you need to, and if you use any effects, you have to scale the effects properly, and I need to show you how to do that. So let's start with a new artboard. So first thing I'm going to just group this so it all stays as a group by going Object, Group. Okay, so there's a group. Oops, that's not grouped. Group. Okay, so it moves it as a group. So I'm going to kind of zoom out a little bit, and let's make an artboard to the dimensions of the size here. So let's start with the iPhone 6 Plus and iPhone 6 Plus. So it's 180 pixels by 180 pixels. Do you see that? Okay, so let's go back to Illustrator, and let's make an artboard. To make an artboard, you go to the artboard tool, which is this one right here. You could either double click on it, or you can just simply draw an artboard first. Don't worry about size at this moment. When I'm done drawing it, I can then go and double click on the artboard tool. After I draw it, double click on the artboard tool and then tell it what size I want. And we're not using points, we want to use pixels, right? Pixels. So we need to change the dimensions. You can actually type in pixels in this window. I know it's using points here. You could go to the preferences and change it to pixels, but you don't need to necessarily do that because it says points here because it's assuming you want font size, I guess. You can actually type in px for pixel here. So if I type in 180 px and then I type in 100, was it 180, wasn't it? Oh, look, it's changed it to points. Damn, it doesn't let you do that, did it? Damn, I was lying to you. Okay, let's change it then. Preferences, units, we want pixels. In Photoshop it lets you do that, I believe. So pixels under units, my mistake. Now let's try it again. So again, I changed the units under preferences, under units to pixels here. And now let's try it. Double click on the artboard tool. Oh, now it's pixels. How about, what did I say, 180 px? 180 px. And then let's hit OK. It makes the artboard the correct size, right? The correct size. And now I can take my object and I can drag it into my artboard or duplicate it. I'm going to duplicate it in there. Now I want to size this so it's exactly the right size. I want the artwork to be exactly 180 pixels by 180 pixels as well as the size of the artboard, right? To do that, we use the scaling tool. The scaling tool is this one located right here. Scale tool. You double click on the scale. See how I have all the artwork selected? I double click on the scale tool and you can type in I thought I could put in a size here. Let me think about this for a moment. Let me pause this for just. So again, I'm going to use the scale tool here, and I'm going to make sure I scale. So I double click on the scale tool, scale corner, scale strokes, and effects to make sure when I'm scaling that it scales everything together. And it's very not an easy tool to use, is it? There we go. Whoosh. Okay. So what was that, 180? So I'm going to type in some text underneath this. And this is 180 pixels by 180 pixels. And so it's 180 pixels by 100. And in addition, you can name the artboards. In fact, you will want to name the artboards because when you, oh look, it's upside down. It looks kind of better like that, doesn't it? You like it better like that, upside down? Kind of cool, huh? So to name the artboard is underneath, there's an artboard pop-up window right here called artboards right here. And you can actually go and it gives you a list of your artboards and you can name them. So this first one was 180 pixels. And then let's do, what's another one? 120 by 120. So I'm going to make the first one 120 pixels, and let's select it and double click on it and make it 120 pixels by 120 pixels. And where did it go? It's over there. So if this one was 180 by 180, how much do we need to scale this down to be? Oh, we got to duplicate that. How much do we need to scale it down to maybe 120 by 120? 30%? So this is 120 by 120. What is that?
Can they have help, please?
Let's scale it down by
Can they have help, please?
you'll have to wait till I'm done demoing. 70%? Did that fit? Oh, it's a little big. 75%, was it? 70? 75%? No, that's too far. 72%? No. Oh. Let me cancel that. Let me undo that. So if it's 180 pixels by 180 pixels, how do I make it 120 by 120? What would it be? I tried 70 first, right? Let's see.
It didn't work.
No. How about 65? It's close. 68? Okay, that's close enough. Ah, that's okay. So what did I say? This was 180 by 180. This is 120 by 120.
What, help, please. What comment? What key is it? Option.
Okay, so I have two of them now. And we need to move the artboard. Okay, I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm having trouble scaling here today. And then let's do one more artboard. What was the last? Let's do one more. iPad Pro, 167 by 167. So, what did I say? Artboard. Now, let me redo that. Actually, when you're drawing, if you use the artboard tool and you start drawing an artboard, it'll actually come up with the pixels. You can see them. And I'm doing 167, right? By 167. So that was 167 by 167. 167 pixels by 167 pixels. And then I could take my artboard and duplicate that. There we go. So this was, what did I say, 167 pixels. Okay. So I have 3 different sizes.
It didn't work. It didn't help, please. It help, please.
Okay. So I have all 3 icons all done and ready for my app So how can I export these out?
Help please.
Just wait till I'm done, okay? Wait till I'm finished. I will come and help you. So I'm going to go and save this file, Illustrator file. These are my Apple icons. So how can I export these out? Okay, so now you want to take all three of these and make them separate files so that I can use them in my app design program. Okay, so to do that, you want to export. Now this is only in the newest version. I don't know if it's on the version that you have in front of you. Okay, so I have the latest Illustrator here, but the ones on these computers are a little older, and I don't think they have this option, but you might want to see if it does or not. So if you go underneath File, there's an export option here. Okay, and you'll notice there's one that says Export for Screens. See, it says Export for Screens. And if you say Export for Screens, it's going to bring up an option, and you'll see all three of my icons. You can see them all right here, right? And you can tell. Just let me finish. Okay, let me finish. As I go through, you can say all of them. It's going to export all three of them at the same time. It's asking you where do you want to export it out. I'm going to choose, I'm just going to put them on the desktop for right now. So where do you want them to go? And then down here it asks you how you want to name your file. Notice it has the 1x, it's going to have 1x, 2x, 3x, 4x, and so on. The reason why it does that is that it's scale. Oh, this is add scale. No, we don't want to scale. We want them all to be the right size. So yeah, let's leave that alone there. And then let's see, assets, artboard. You can just say don't change the scale. They do. If you did one, you can then have it scale different sizes for you automatically. Actually, that would have been an easier way of doing it probably, where you just design one and then have it export out at different sizes. You can actually have that. I forgot about that. Whatever, it's okay. We have our different sizes. And then you say export artboards. And if you say export artboard, it'll then go and export all three of them at the same time. Okay, and then this one is the 120 by 120. This is the 167 by 167. And this is the 180 by 180. Okay, so then how do you name it? You actually have to name it a specific way. So let's go back to let's go back here and let me go through how to name it. There is a naming convention that you need to name. The I cannot remember how to do it. There is a naming convention. This is Google. How to name Apple app icons. Oh, here it is. At 2x and do not include iTunes at 2x. Okay, here it is. So we did a 120 by 120, right? So it has to have at 3x. So this part doesn't matter. What's in front of the at sign? See the at sign right here? That doesn't matter right there. What's important is this part right here after the at sign. Okay, so I don't see the 167 by 167. Do you? No. What did we? Which size? Oh, here's the 120 by. So this one's at 2x. See it right here? At 2x. And this one's at. Oh, but they're the same. Oh. Maybe I'm. This is not. You'll have to wait till I'm completed. Let me think. How do I name it? One is at 2x. Really? I can't get a straight answer from Apple. This is old. At 2x here. I still don't have the 167 by 167. Okay, I don't remember how to name it, but there's a specific way that you need to name them. Usually, it's from, like I said, it's normally to put. You'll have to wait till I'm done. So we'll call it sun at 2x, like that. This might be, since it's larger, 3x. I don't know, sun at 3x. And I'm not sure. I don't remember the exact name, but there's a way to name it like this. And so then when you bring it into the Xcode, here's Xcode here. So here's the app program here.
It didn't work.
And so let me just do a little test.
I can help please.
You'll have to wait till I'm done.
It didn't work. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Okay, so in the app design program, this is Xcode. It's the program that we use to make apps. You bring in artwork, and when you bring it in, I import the artwork.
Whoa! It don't down. It don't move. No, it didn't move.
And I'm trying to remember if I click in here. This is what I want. There. Hold on, it's trying to bring it in. When I bring it into the app program, I'm going to use a new image set. Do you see right here, new image set? And notice it has the 1x, 2x, and 3x right there. And so then you import them in here.
Not working. Now it didn't work.
And so they fit into the program. As you can see, you got the 1x, 2x, 3x. And so it brings it in here, and then you can use it in your app. I don't remember exactly how to bring it in right now. But that's the reason why you make different sizes, is my whole point. Okay? And an easy way to make different sizes is to do it in Illustrator with artboards. Any questions?
The whole export thing you were talking about,
Just make me an icon. That's all I want you to do. What?
the export that you showed us, you said only works in your version.
I don't know if it's here. Did you?
I don't see the.
Yeah, I think you need the newer version, yes. I don't think it's on the version you have in front of you.
Can I have some help please?
So all you would do is if you had an older version, just wait till I'm done, okay? If you were using an older version of Illustrator, you would use File, Save for Web, or under Export, here's the Save for Web Legacy right here. It's an older version right here. And in the Save for Web,
It don't work.
Save it as a PNG.
you would save it as a PNG, and inside here you can choose which artboard first and then go into this window. And so over here is PNG right here, PNG 24, PNG 24. Okay, so first choose which artboard you want. See how I can choose each artboard here? See them, each one here? See how I can choose each one in the artboard pop-up window? And then go under File, Save for Web, and then choose PNG, and then hit Save, and then of course name it the way, I just don't remember how to name it. But that's how you can do it in an older version. But all I want you to do is finish your wired card and make me an icon for this week, okay? There's a nice icon. Look at icons.